Welcome to the Meat Shop. Thanks for clicking on. My name's Duncan Henry, and in this episode, I'm going to share with you how we make Memphis Pork Bites. It's sort of like a pork jerky, a little bit different. I think you're really going to like it, so stick around to the end for the recipe, and let's make us some Memphis Pork Bites. All right, so this little intro is going to be shared in 3 different videos because I'm going to use this pork loin to make 3 different kinds of jerky. I'm going to make candied pork, Memphis Pork Bites, and pineapple pork jerky, all out of this loin. This loin was $39. It's a great muscle for making jerky. And at the end of this, we're going to show you how much pork jerky we get from each video, the total amount of jerky. We're going to give you the steps for each individually after this. Pork loins make a great muscle for jerky because, like I said, they're lean muscles. You have a rib end, which has a little bit more marbling, a little bit darker meat. And sometimes, in this case, they leave the sirloin attached, which is also nice lean meat for making jerky. They're relatively affordable. This whole loin I picked up from a wholesale store, so not my meat wholesalers that do volume, but I just walked into the wholesale store, wasn't particularly looking for a sale, just went in and grabbed one, and they're basically $3 a pound. Pretty affordable. This whole loin was $39, and we're gonna get quite a bit of jerky out of it. The perk of the pork loin too is also it's very easy to trim. All you have to do is take this fat off of the backside, and there is a little bit of a chain muscle that runs down either side that has a little bit of silver skin that you want to remove if you're making pork jerky. Other than that, it's very simple. So I'm gonna split this into 3 pieces for 3 different types of jerky. Okay, so this is the portion of the pork loin I've decided to use for the Memphis Pork Bites. It is the top sirloin portion. So as you can see, there's a kind of a bit of marks in here from where they pulled out the what would be the kind of the hip or the pelvis bone. So what we have to do now is go through this, clean it up, take off all the silver skin and connective tissue for our Memphis Pork Bites. Do that simply with a boning knife. You get just under the skin, leaving as much meat on as possible and taking off just fat and silver skin. Okay, so after cleaning it up, we have a little bit of fat and silver skin here. As you can see, not much waste, nice and white. And then we have our lean muscles here. You kind of wind up with a couple different muscles on the sirloin end once you parcel it out. But getting it nice and lean and silver skin free is the most important part. Now for making bites, you don't have to slice them like jerky. We actually slice them a little bit thicker, so they're a little bit kind of chewy in the middle. It doesn't particularly matter if you slice with or against the grain with these, because we're going to cut them up after they come out of the smoker. So what you do is you just take a big staking knife. I'll take the nice little loin portion out of this, which you can't see here, and I'll just kind of bring you in. Okay, so there's our couple lean chunks here, and what you want to do is kind of just cut them into, I don't know, 1/2 inch chunks like that, like so. A little bit thicker than normal. We're going to let them season a little bit longer, and if you want a little more surface area, you can kind of cut them down again. So they're going to be kind of strips like this, and if you had the whole loin, you could go the whole length of the loin, but I kind of split mine up for 3 different projects. All right, so I'm going to go through that whole chunk and turn it all into slabs, something like this. So there we have it, nice lean chunks for making our bites. Now we'll grab a weight off of them. All right, so 1.7 kilograms is what we're going to work with. And now you probably want the recipe. As always, the recipe will be typed out in the link down below, but here's the verbal version of it. I'm not from Memphis. These might not be authentic Memphis spices. This is maybe just what Canadians perceive as Memphis spices. But we're gonna go salt, 15 grams per kilogram. Black pepper, 6 grams per kilogram. Garlic powder, 10 grams per kilogram. Paprika, 10 grams per kilogram. Chipotle powder, 4 grams per kilogram. Thyme, 3.5 grams per kilogram. Mustard powder, 3 grams per kilogram. Celery powder, 1 gram per kilogram. Brown sugar, 20 grams per kilogram. Cure, 3 grams per kilogram. Sodium erythorbate, 1/2 gram per kilogram. Liquid smoke, 1/2 gram per kilogram. And water, 90 grams per kilogram. Again, that's down in the link below. So I have the spices mixed up here. It's quite a flavorful little snack. Packs a lot of punch. So we're going to distribute that onto the chunks, and I usually let this one marinate about 24 hours because the chunks are just a little bit bigger, give it a little bit more time for the spices and whatnot to penetrate the pork. And I was wondering while I was mixing the spices, if I was to talk about someone from Memphis, would it be a Memphisian? You're a Memphisian if you're from Memphis. Is that right? Bit of a stupid thought. Anyways, add the water with liquid smoke. I usually add liquid smoke to the water. And mix around thoroughly till all the surfaces of this is coated. Oh man, this one smells delicious. It smells like pulled pork. It's kind of a marinade right now, but after it comes out of the smoker, these seasonings and whatnot dry onto them, and it's just loaded with flavor. So, all right, off to the cooler for 24 hours, then to the smoker or dehydrator, or maybe we'll do a side-by-side comparison. All right, there's our Memphis pork bites. We're gonna take them from there, lube these racks up, put them on there, and then into the smoker. Don't forget to hit your racks with some vegetable spray to keep them from sticking. All right, we got the Brunswick loaded up here. First thing this morning, just warming up, not quite up to temp, but there we go. Look at that. Memphis pork bites and the Chipotle honey jerky sharing this smoke cycle. I found out yesterday that the kind of smoker floats up and down, kind of 10 degrees-ish, so I'm just gonna set it at 160 and then maybe bump it up to 170 for a little bit, just to get them nice and cooked and dehydrated. But we'll check on them. It took about 5 hours yesterday, the other batch, so I'll check on them in about 5 hours. Okay, just killed the smoker. The Memphis pork bites are good and done now. They're nice and dense, good and dehydrated, real smoky. Looking forward to biting into them here tomorrow when they are cooled down. Look at those smoky, savory bites of pork. Let's dive into these Memphis nuggets. Okay, so the cook on these was a decent amount of time. It was about 8 hours in the smoker. I kind of had set it at 170-ish for quite a while because it was quite a gusty day yesterday. I had the vent wide open. And then I kind of bumped it up to 180, 190 till they fully dehydrated. They're nice and firm. That's what you're looking for. I'll cut one aside. So what we should have, we'll have this smoky, seasoned exterior, and then we'll cut into it, and it'll be kind of like a cured ham-ish color, very dense meat. All right, we'll cut into one of these nuggets. First off, they smell so smoky. Those seasonings smell so good. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Get another kind of a little bit bigger piece so you can see what the interior should look like. I'll bring it in for you. Hopefully you can see that pretty good. The inside kind of looks like a cured ham color. It's not wet though, it's kind of very dense texture, and then the outside has that nice smoke adherence. Like, don't those snacks just look wicked good? It's like, oh man, little savory, spicy ham pork cube kind of things is what these are. They're so good. Well, I'll taste one, tell you. Okay, let's dive into a nugget. I don't get to make these very often because I'm up in Rimbey, Alberta, where too much pepper is too spicy. So looking forward to trying one of these. Oh man, those are good. Those are like Sunday afternoon sport watching, have a beer or two type snack. NASCAR's on, baseball, football, whatever you're into. A couple of those. Or on the boat while you're fishing, something like that. So good. What does it taste like? Well, there's the herbs in there that kind of undercoat everything, the sage, the thyme, garlic's what you really taste. And then there's a little bit of subtle heat afterwards from the Chipotle. And a lot of smoke. They got smoked for 8 hours. I would do them again just like that though. I regret nothing about how this is done. That's pretty much perfect. So you're gonna have to play with it in your smoker. It's gonna be a little bit different than mine. But I think it was in there about 8 hours, and I kind of started at that 170 and I kind of climbed up and up. But I hope you guys like it. Little something different for you than regular beef jerky, using a different protein. If you do like it, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And thank you guys for watching. Take care. And to end this video, finally, I started this video out showing you a whole pork loin, and this is how much jerky we get off of it total. So you can buy pork, I can't remember what I paid for that pork loin. It's probably at the start of the video, 20, 30, no more than $40. We wound up with all this jerky, 3 different flavors, done 3 different ways. Some of you guys might, if you haven't seen this is pineapple pork, candied pork bites, and Memphis pork bites. Some of you guys might not like the fat in the pineapple pork I did. That's irrelevant. What is relevant is, in the end, out of that pork loin, we got 2.7 kilograms worth of jerky. That's a lot of snacks, AKA 6 pounds of snacks for you and your family and friends. Super good food, easy to make, and you're making it way cheaper when you're making it home. Save a couple bucks. There's nothing wrong with saving a couple bucks. That's right. Enjoy. Thanks. Take care. Subscribe.